And that brings us to the co-main event here for UFC 326. We've got Caio Borralho taking on Reinier De Ridder. And if you're enjoying the content, hit that like and subscribe button, as Carlos is going to let us know who he's got in the co-main event.
This one I went with Caio Borralho to get it done. I just find Borralho should be able to do exactly what Brendan Allen did, as we were talking about. He should be able to strike decently on the feet. And on the ground, he should be able to keep himself safe, being inside mount or half guard, and stay out of trouble of the submission game of De Ridder. Keep his shoulders pinned to the ground, throw some ground and pound, because Borralho is live to do some ground and pound. He's done it before. And De Ridder, defensively, the way he moves his body, he's kind of like Gumby. He's a big guy, but he's pretty rubbery on the bottom, and he's just trying to get his body in weird positions so he can get back to his feet once he's down there on the bottom, or to get to a better position on top. But I just think that Borralho's striking should be a lot better, especially fighting somebody like Imavov. I feel like, you at some point you start to get a little bit of a rub when you start losing to fighters that are better than you in certain parts of the game. And I feel like his striking, he's going to get a lot better after his last fight. He's going to see things a little clearer. He's going to want to set up shots a little better. And I feel that his ground game is probably going to equal De Ridder on the ground. De Ridder's a very big guy, and he should be able to, at least get this to the ground once or twice in those awkward takedowns that he has. And I just got to worry about Borralho. Those knees of De Ridder are very dangerous, but if Borralho doesn't allow himself to extend his arms or keep a high guard, it shouldn't be that much of a problem, avoiding De Ridder's knees. Plus, if he doesn't let De Ridder close the distance, or he doesn't back himself up against the cage, I don't see that happening. So I'm going to take Borralho. I think he can get this done.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Have Viagra or similar products let you down? Well, now there's new hope for men who suffer from erectile dysfunction. If you want proven results, the Boston Medical Group has the answer.
At the Boston Medical Group, I met with a specialist who understood what I was going through.
Regardless of your age or medical condition, the Boston Medical Group can safely restore your sexual potency, even if other treatments have failed.
The Boston Medical Group solved my problem in just one visit.
The Boston Medical Group. Proven results, or your consultation is free.
Yeah, two for Caio Borralho here, in my opinion. Obviously, the fighting nerds fighter here needs to get back on track. Reinier De Ridder, we know, obviously, again, losing to Brendan Allen, but in a manner that I don't really feel confident going and picking him here. So I have to go with Borralho. I didn't really like how that one ended with Brendan Allen, obviously him retiring on the stool. And I think here with Borralho, he's got all the credentials and all the skills here to be able to capitalize. On the feet, my only real question mark is that Borralho is a guy that he tends to be a little bit low output. You see him kind of darting in and out of range, kind of looking to capitalize on guys on the feet. And he's a guy that, he's not necessarily known for his one-punch power. He has it, but I don't necessarily know if he can capitalize against a guy like De Ridder. He crashes the pocket. He wants to come in and get into the clinch and ultimately find the takedowns. And I do think that Borralho might get suckered into that, knowing that he has a good ground game himself. I do think that he can stay safe. I agree with Carlos that he's definitely, a guy that can, get into side control, get into guard, and use ground and pound, get his own ground game going. But I think that plays into the hands of De Ridder, and I think realistically where this fight, for me, I would like to see it play out is for Borralho to be able to keep this one on the feet, dart in and out of range, and ultimately when De Ridder decides to crash the pocket, he looks to counter strike. But I just worry that De Ridder kind of crashes the pocket, makes it a kind of a greasy, sweaty fight, a dirty back and forth brawl in which he has more volume. Borralho is a guy that I think might get suckered into the clinch a little bit. So not necessarily super confident here in Caio Borralho, but I think he has all the skills to be able to capitalize, get the striking going, keep this one on the feet, whereas I think he's the better athlete as well. And I think ultimately that tall man defense for De Ridder is going to leave him exposed for Borralho's right hand. So I say that De Ridder, he can definitely win this one if he gets this fight to the mat, but I'm going to say Borralho is going to keep this one standing and ultimately win in the striking with the speed and athleticism that he possesses.